Okay, so if I am who you say I am, is it truly then my fault I was not able to get nobody to listen? If this is the war that we are in, then why is it I don't have nobody here that is living on my side? Is that truly my fault? Or is it literally their decision to not stand up and to help me in any way, shape, or form? Or did I actually do something wrong to make this way? I'm trying to push on, not knowing what to do. Literally feeling like I'm should be stopping all my attempts because they're not coming through. But the thing is that no matter what, because of all of this, I just want worse and worse and worse. I sit and I struggle. I reach for help and receive none. Man's law is ignored, even when I knew I was very much in the right. People do horrible deeds, and they get away with it, as if there's no consequence. So many people can't see anything for what it is, which then just makes me feel like, am I seeing it for what it is? I mean, seriously, it's this constant twisting and yo-yoing, and it's like, I am almost empty in a way, that I don't know what to do. I mean, if I can't get no one to listen, if I can't get a church to help even with just the crap of life, and if I can't get people to do anything that you call on, then what the fuck? They're all really on the other side if they're not for anything right and just. I mean, I understand there was not supposed to be a lot of people, but fuck! To be this alone all the fucking time. To hold back so much of my own pain and misery and not share it with other people, when a lot of it was caused because of the ways of this horrible fucking world. Like the death of my son. Which wasn't completely my fault. I knew he was alive. They didn't want to listen to me because they said he was dead. I fought for him. For them to tell me that they would take my other child if I didn't abort a child I could feel that was moving. To be told I wasn't allowed to have my body do what it's supposed to do naturally. Well, if my child is gone, my body would refuse the baby. I should never have been forced to deliver a child who turned out actually wasn't dead and died during the process that they forced upon me. Because they made me choose. Because they threatened to take my living child and all this other stuff from me. And then the only day they can do the process was on Mother's Day. How wonderful, right? But, of course, why would that matter to nobody? It wasn't them that had to go through it, it was me. And there's just so much more crap with that. And it's like, if death is all I have to look forward to, then shouldn't everybody look forward to it? I don't know, I'm rambling, and I don't know what I'm going to do with this video, if I'll share. I'm done with everything. How could I want to help anybody any further when nobody could ever help me? Why would I want this world to keep going when this world is so far gone? Everything has a beginning and everything has an end. Well, I say it's time that this world, this gift, that all of it comes to an end. That this earth that was so neglected, as if it never mattered, should be taken away from them all. Caging up animals and killing them and slaughtering them, and caging up people and killing them and slaughtering them, forcing people to make decisions, and nobody can see how this world is gone. Nobody can see how this world has been so lost. And those who do claim they see it don't see how there's many other contributing factors. But everything just piles and piles and piles. And my scale has been tipped so much in the darkness, I screwed it down. So the balance, when it come back up, and everything that was dark could crawl up and leach out onto so many others. Now the scale is broken because there was nothing to help balance it out. And if it was to be weighed, mine was so heavy. And I don't know why I did fight for a better side for so long when nobody freaking cared, really. And those who claim they said they did, if it was true, then divine intervention should have brought us together. And if divine intervention did bring us together, why was it they still lacked enough faith to do anything? Interesting enough, along my journeys of people who claimed they were homeless, they had a home, and yet they still would not leave and do anything. People look poorly upon poor people. Just remember, Jesus was poor, was he not? I guess it just doesn't fucking matter, does it? You could be in the right and do nothing wrong. And if somebody else says you're horrible, therefore you're horrible, right? Except for in the eyes of God. I don't know what to say, because as far as I'm concerned, in the entire fucking world, nobody's came forward to lend a hand in any other direction. And with everything going on, and things I don't share because nobody cared to hear, then why am I fighting? Everyone's happy with their bullshit. And even you once said, devils need their prison. And that's what this place is, in a way. Because something that most people don't think about Here's a nice little twist for you all. If hell is where you suffer and you torment, and then you die, here's something to think about for those who also know about reincarnation and being born on this earth, and how this earth is technically a prison. Because we're born, we suffer through life, we're meant to feel pain. We die. And then we repeat, and we repeat. But we're taught that that's what happens in hell, that Satan will continue to push you and suck you around. And it's because of your decisions that you make that you end up because some people constantly go through the prison term and forget. And then they're convicted to have to do it again and again and again and again. And it's almost like people can't see, in a way, that's technically what the world has been. Everyone cried they wanted freedom. They wanted the truth about God. And they wanted truth about hell and heaven, life and death. And then truth was presented. But it wasn't good enough, even though it was the truth. Because the fairy tales and stories that we are told was more interesting than the truth itself. Because they're like bored little children, they just don't know what to do. And they'd all rather continue to cause pain and misery in one form or another, not doing things that they claim that they believe in. And that's why I've pushed so hard, even with all the crap going on in my life, trying to not share it all. And yet Spirit Box, God, spirits, the ones that came through and left their messages, they told you how I was suffering. They told you how I had no home. They told you why I had no home. They told you before I told you, because they were reaching out for help on my behalf. And it wasn't heard and it wasn't received. Even though God said He was who He was, told you time and time again that He loved me, told you how He wanted you to come to help me, and nobody did. Those who listened and watched, which few that you may be or may not be at the time that you watch this video, they know every time you've watched. They know your deepest thoughts. They know when you drive by somebody and you didn't assist them. They know when you walk by and you have a horrible thought about somebody. Regardless of your reasonings for why these things occur, you better believe that Spirit knows it all. And even though many want to try to divide, there's a part of realizing how God is whole. God is everything. And if you want to ignore God on a level of not realizing the magnitude of God for what He is, then you don't realize how you should fear Him, yet love Him, respect Him, but yet seek Him out. And for those who truly do, should have had a better understanding. But what have you done on a constant basis to actually show it? What were the thoughts you held within your head and within your heart about others that you did not confess to other individuals? Didn't you think that God knew that? Even the thought. No deed, no matter how big or how small, has been kept record by each and every single one of us. And throughout my life, even though I have been put into some crappy situations and positions, I did my best to be a good person. And oddly enough, when I attempted to avoid crappy situations and leave, I was actually put in a position to where other people viewed me negatively because I left it. It's like, seriously? You should have viewed me negatively if I made the intentional point to stay instead of leaving. You shouldn't judge me because I attempted to remove myself from what was not the right spot, situation, or position to be in for whatever it was. It should be acknowledged how I attempted to correct the BS that was going on around me. Not judged negatively because I refused to stay in a crappy situation. Shouldn't that have happened if I had stayed in the bullshit situation? But instead you want to judge me because I left a bad situation? What does that say about you, you freaking fool? I was doing the right thing by not staying where I knew I didn't like. It's like my family. Certain situations of things I have been in. Leaving abusive people when they put their hands on me. Of course, why would I stay? If you're going to put your hands on me, forget you. I'm done, I'm gone, I'm out. I'm not down with that. Oh, really? People want to look at me bad because I was in that spot? No. Because I'm the one that didn't sit there and cry boo-hoo, someone's abusive. I left. Don't hold it against me. There's no reason for me to stay. Like my ex, my first husband, when he threw me out the first time and I left and he tried to stop me. It's like, listen here. Why would I stay where I am not wanted? Are you joking me? And don't you think it's going to be quite similar the way it's been with God? Just like it says in the Revelations that the bride and the bridegroom were heard from no more. Well, why would he continue to talk if no one's going to respond? Why should we stay and help a single person? I thought everyone was worried about being left behind. But yet no one wanted to see it because all they could hear were the evil things that came through. All they could hear when Satan talked. All they could hear when the three unclean spirits, as what they were claimed, talked. And they couldn't hear the fact that it was God that talked when God talked. Dead loved ones talked. Strange spirits that I have met for first time that I learned talked. People believe that the dead can talk in many ways and form, but for whatever reason, they want to exclude God from that. Just like they exclude God out of their lives more than what they realize. And yet all I was trying to do was to seek a relationship with them. Even with the confusion of being able to hear his voice with these devices, because of the many things that came through, trying to understand the push and the pull of all the information that was given to me as I went. It was what it was. And in a way, again, because I am this alone, unless I am given reason to keep going after this video, this is my last video. Because what is the point of me making these when those of you out there watch, don't even comment? What is the point when I find the people that are mentioned in the videos and I reach out to you and you have nothing to say on here as well? Then what is the point? What is the point of me attempting to reach out to help other people on any level when others actually want to come at me like I'm wrong? Just like, I'll tell you what, this does hurt when I have told my family that I have helped homeless people even in my situation and position. They looked at me as if I was lying when it wasn't a lie. Because I was in the position I was in, I was able to meet the people who were lost and forgotten, much like I was. I was able to help them even though I didn't have much to offer. I gave what I have, even though I was in the position too, that they were. Some of them even tried to refuse it, and I said, no, you can't refuse it. It's not from me, it's from God. I'm just the tool to pass it along to you. My situation is not much different than yours. And I have the faith and I know that God will be there for me and that things will get better. And that I know that I will have something more later. And for me, it will be easier for me to come across more than what it will be for you. So you cannot refuse this gift from me. And then they would often take it. But to meet people that were like, seriously, like they don't want to believe that I did that stuff. Yeah, all the time. I did and do. I haven't a little bit now because I've been literally sitting in a roadside motel that was closed for business, and now I completely understand why it was closed. That this is really much more like a prison cell, that I am sitting here alone like this while my child is with my mother, and I am losing my mind because I have nowhere to go and no one to talk to but spirits that I have talked to so much that it's almost becoming hard to hear again. Because I feel that I haven't been heard. So because I feel I haven't been heard, it gets harder for me to hear. Because I just close up, lock down, and shut up. Like I'm about to do right now and push this for the last time before I end this message. I have rambled for quite some time. But again, this is most likely my last message unless I am told or directed or feel the need for whatever blah 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 reason from here, because there's not much time left. Not much at all. Everybody wants to say there's time. And for those that feel that way, just remember, all of you who thought there was always going to be later, and then somebody passed away. Imagine what happens when it all will pass away. Anyways, I'm shutting up, pushing for the last time, and let's get going. I'm ready just to be done, to be honest, because I keep waiting and nothing, and how can the hopeless give hope to others? And I am only hopeless because nobody has ever came forward. But I am not really hopeless, because there is a secret desire that happens and that will take place. And I look forward to that, because people don't realize I know what I created, and I seeked out to create it in every way potentially possible, because it has been my desire. And a lot of it is because of how wronged I have been done, when all I wanted was a different way. But now I get the better, worst way. Whatever. I'm shutting up. Shut the fuck up. Push the button. Well, there you go. There's the message. There's my rambling. There's my talking. La-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da. Blah, 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 blah. How's that sound? That sound better for you? I'm done.